Blessings, beautiful beings. Thank you so much for joining me today for our very first yoga class, flow, whatever you want to call it, of 2023. If you're new, welcome. If you are returning, thank you. I appreciate it. We have Fritz here. Sam will probably come and join us eventually. Don't hit that, sir. So for props today, if you're returning, you know the deal. If you are new, some props that you might like to have on hand are yoga blankets or just any blankets, a bolster or a pillow, blocks. If you don't have blocks, that's okay. If you have books lying around, you can always use that. So if you want to grab any of those items, if those are items in your practice already, pause the video, go and grab them. Otherwise, I will meet you on the mat. So we are going to start out today in a comfortable cross-legged seat. So whatever that looks like for you. This is not comfortable for me, Fritz. If your knees are a little cranky, then you can come and sit on a blanket. It doesn't have to be like a yoga blanket like this. It can be any sort of blanket that you can come sit on. Just something to raise your hips up a little bit, so that way it's a little bit nicer on your knees. If you don't have anything like that, you can always have or sit on a bolster or a pillow or something like this. So you pick today, yogi's choice. But I will meet you here. And as you come to sit, just block out any other distractions if you can. I can't. We have dogs here. Thank you, Sam, for laying down. They're going to fight over this whale now, probably. If you're like me and you have other little beings running around, be them human or fur or otherwise, just know, do your best to really take this time for yourself. Your hands can be just sitting on your lap, palms facing up or down. And if it feels safe in your body, you can close down the eyes or you can just soften your gaze. We're going to take just a few deep breaths here to start, just to prepare for practice today. Really feel your inhales and your exhales as you breathe. You may even want to set an intention if that is part of your practice. Let's take one big inhale together. And then exhale, just let it go. And you can sigh it out if you want to. All right, we're going to start to warm up the body a little bit. So I don't know how many, depending on your age, you may or may not have seen one of those old-fashioned coffee grinders. That's what we're going to basically do with our torso. So if you know what I'm talking about, then you know where we're going. If not, we'll walk through it. So as you inhale, go ahead and reach your front body forward and then over to one side, and then round your spine as you come across the back and then to the other side. So just move your torso in this kind of coffee grinder circle, really warming up our spine and our torso. Keep breathing as you do this. My back is pretty sore, so that feels good on my back as I come around to the back of my mat. And then make sure you switch to the other side too. We don't want to be uneven. So if you have not already switched, go ahead and switch to the other side, and you can make these circles as big or as small as you would like. Really listen to your body and feel into what it's telling you that it needs. We'll do one more. And then go ahead and bring it to stillness. We'll just take a breath here, see how you feel. From here, go ahead and place your left hand down on the mat, just right beside you. On an inhale, we'll stretch our left arm up towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, go ahead and cross that midline, bringing it over to the right, feeling a nice big stretch in your left side body. And breathe. Make sure that you're not collapsing in the neck. One more big inhale here. And exhale, return to center. You can drop that arm down. Take a moment, just take a breath or two here. And compare both sides of your body. See how you feel. And when you're ready, we'll place our left hand down on the mat next to us. We'll reach our right arm up towards the sky on our next inhale. And then on the exhale, we'll cross that midline, coming over to the left, feeling a stretch in our right side body. And breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, return to center, lower that arm down. And then again, just compare both sides for a couple of breaths. All right, we're gonna keep on warming up our spine. So we'll transition to all fours to a nice tabletop position. Again, if your knees are cranky at all, you can use a blanket underneath your knees, and that will kind of pad them. My mat's pretty squishy today, so I'm good on that, but if your mat is, I have some thinner mats that it's kind of nice to have that down. All right, so in this tabletop position, your hands are going to be underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and we're going to do one of my favorites, which is cat-cow, to really warm up our spine. So on our inhale, we'll drop our lower ribs, lift our tail, lift our chest and head forward, coming into cow pose. And then on the exhale, we're going to tuck our tail, tuck our head, round through the spine, coming into cat. Like a black Halloween cat. Inhaling, dropping those lower ribs, looking forward, feeling a nice stretch in our front body. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, dropping the tail, dropping the head. Go ahead and do a few more just on your own breath. Cycles. And if one posture feels really good to you, go ahead and stay in it for a few breaths. Wherever you're at, let's go ahead and do one more together. So we'll inhale, coming into cow. And then exhale, go ahead and come into our cat posture. And then we'll return to a nice neutral tabletop. From here, let's bring our knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, sink our booty back towards our heels. You can walk your fingertips forward, melting your heart and your forehead down to the mat, coming into an extended child's pose. Now, if your forehead doesn't quite reach the mat, you can use a block here or a towel, and you can place that down and just let your head rest on the block, or a blanket, or a pillow, or whatever you have. And we'll just relax and breathe here. You can walk the fingertips forward to feel a bigger stretch in your back body and in your shoulder and armpit area. One more big inhale here. And then on the exhale, go ahead and look forward. We're going to make our way back to that tabletop position once again. So we'll bring our knees back in, line with our hips, and set ourselves back up. My clothes keep moving around, so I'm just adjusting them. All right, from here, look down at your hands. So right now my hands are underneath my shoulders. I'm going to walk my hands just one handprint in front of where they were. So they're a little bit out. We're going to tuck our toes under, inhale to prepare, and then exhale, go ahead and lift the knees up off the mat, straighten through the legs, push back, and we are now in our downward facing dog posture. You can bend one knee and then the other, taking your dog for a little bit of a walk just to start. Feeling a nice stretch through your calf muscles and legs. And when you've had enough of that, go ahead and bring it to stillness. Really push through your hands, through that thumb, your pointer finger and your middle finger. That'll take some tension off your wrists. And really push back through your heels. Your heels may not touch the ground, and that's okay. Keep breathing. One more big inhale here. Exhale, let it go. From here, we're gonna make sure your left foot is firmly planted on the mat, or in the mat. We'll lift our right foot up just a little bit. Keep your toes dialed down, so not all the way up towards the sky. And on your exhale, bend the knee, shift forward, bring that knee in towards your chest. We're gonna step the right foot in between our hands. Go ahead and lower down onto the back foot. You can untuck the toes if you'd like. Now we're coming into a nice low lunge. In this posture and in any of our postures where we're kind of in this shape, make sure that this front leg is in a nice 90-degree angle and that you can see your big toe. If you can't see your big toe, push your knee out towards the side so you can see it. From here, you can keep your hands on the mat. Make sure your chest is lifted. Pull that right hip crease back and breathe. You can also use blocks here to bring the floor up to you if you need a little bit extra boost. I have to come up to my fingertips, which is fine. You should feel a nice stretch on this left quad. One more big inhale here. And then as we exhale, go ahead and shift your hips back. Start to peel those right toes off the mat, pointing them up towards your third eye. Walk your fingertips back or your hands back. We're coming into a nice hamstring stretch. So now on this right side, you should be feeling a nice stretch in that hamstring. Make sure to keep pulling that right hip crease back. And breathe. Don't forget to breathe. One more big inhale here. And then as you exhale, walk your hands forward. Go ahead and return your right foot flush with the mat. We'll tuck our left toes under if they're not already. Lift that left knee up off the mat, and we're going to step our right foot back to meet our left, coming back into our downward facing dog. And from here, just breathe. On your next inhale, make sure your right foot is firmly planted on the mat. We'll lift our left toes up. Keep the toes dialed down towards the mat. And then as you exhale, we'll bend through the knee, shift forward, look forward, bring that knee into the chest, and we'll step our left foot in between our hands this time, lowering down onto our right knee, toes tucked or untucked, coming into that nice low lunge on the opposite side. Again, make sure you're pulling your left hip crease back and that you can see your big toe. Nice 90-degree angle in this front foot here. Chest nice and lifted, and don't forget to breathe. One more big inhale here. And then as we exhale, we'll shift our hips back once again, peeling our left toes up off the mat, walking our fingertips back, coming into a hamstring stretch on the left side. Again, make sure to pull that left hip crease back. You should be feeling that stretch right through this hamstring. Breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, let's walk it all the way back into that nice low lunge on the left side. We'll tuck our right toes under, lift that right foot up off the mat. Make sure your hands are firmly on the mat. We're going to step our left toes back to meet our right, but this time we're going to come into a plank. Now, if plank is not for you, you can lower down onto the knees and come into a half plank. If you're in plank with me, make sure to really press back through your heels. Make sure your hips aren't dipping down or up. So a nice straight line, look forward, breathe, feel that shake. We have a few planks today. One more big inhale here. And then on the exhale, go ahead and lift the hips up and we'll come back into our downward facing dog. Woo. You can shake your head and neck out. Take a few breaths here. And on your next inhale, go ahead and look up towards the top of your mat. We're going to walk our way up to the front of the mat. You can do crisscross steps. I'm kind of liking that right now. Or you can do just a couple steps until you get up to the top of your mat. Keep a little bit of a bend in your knees. Have your blocks nearby if you think you might need them. Inhale, we're going to come up halfway to a nice flat back. You can see I have a little bit of a bend in my knee. Make sure you're not locking your knees out in this next pose. Back nice and straight. And then on the exhale, go ahead and lower down. Forward fold for standing forward fold. Now, the more you bend your knees, the more you'll feel it in your back. The straighter they are, the more you're going to feel that in your hamstrings. Now, if this posture is not for you, again, you can use these blocks, or if you have books or anything like that to bring the earth up to you. And you can put these on different positions depending on your flexibility for the day. You can also just bring your fingers to the mat, or if you're able to, you can bring your whole palm and just let your head rest. If you have none of those things, you can also just bend your knees until you're able to place your hands or fingertips on the mat. From here, we'll just breathe. You can shake your head and neck out a little bit. One more big inhale here. And then on the exhale, we'll go ahead and slowly, slowly, slowly roll it all the way up until you're standing. We're going to come into a nice mountain pose. So make sure your feet are firmly planted on the ground. Get out any wiggles. Roll your shoulders up, back and down. Stand up nice and tall and straight. Make sure you're not walking out through your knees. And then just take a few moments here to ground and feel that flush of energy move through you. On your next inhale, go ahead and reach your arms up to the sky. And then as we exhale, bend at the knees, shift your booty back, and we're going to come back into that forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway flat back. Exhale, let it go. And then just hold here and breathe for a moment. When you are ready, after your next exhale, go ahead and look forward a little bit. We'll step one foot back and then the other, and we're going to come back into our plank posture. So again, you can lower down into a half plank if you'd like. Otherwise, really push up from the ground. We'll just stay here for a couple breaths. One more big inhale here. And exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. You can even belly flop if you'd like. Right. Make sure your hands are in line with your rib cage. And on your next inhale, just slowly peel your nose and forehead up off the mat, looking forward, coming into a nice low little baby cobra here. And breathe. One more inhale here. And exhale, lower your forehead to the mat. When you're ready, we're going to come push ourselves back up to all fours, tuck the toes under. Inhale to prepare. And then as you exhale, we'll lift our knees up off the mat, shift our hips up and back, coming back into our downward facing dog. And we'll stay here for just a moment and breathe. All right, on your next inhale, make sure your left foot is once again firmly planted into the mat. We're going to lift our right foot up just a little bit, toes still dialed down towards the mat. Exhale, bend the knee, shift our weight forward, look forward. We're going to step our right foot in between our palms. Go ahead and step your left foot in a little bit. Keep the toes turned out. And then we're going to rise up and turn our hips towards the long edge of the mat like I have here. We're going to come into a warrior two posture. So again, just like when we were in low lunge, make sure that your front foot is in this nice 90-degree angle, and you can see your big toe. Your back foot should be slightly turned in. You may have to kind of walk it in a little bit, possibly. So play with the pose, see where it feels good in your body. And then you just want to sink down, coming into this nice, strong warrior two. Make sure you're not pushing your booty back. You want to tuck everything in. Your head, your heart, and your center should all be in line. Now your hands can be at your hips, or they can be stretched out, or you could have them at your palm center. It's going to depend on your body and where you feel good today. Make sure in this posture, though, that you're not going forward and you're not being pulled back. You want to stay nice and center. So if your arms are outstretched, imagine someone's pulling you from both sides and you're just in the middle. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your chest, and you can look over your right hand. Breathe. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and straighten through that front leg. Drop your left fingers down. Lift your right fingers up towards the sky. Look up at your right hand. Reverse triangle. And breathe. One more inhale here. And then exhale, return your arms out to either side. Keep your legs where they are. Go ahead and reach forward like you're reaching for something just out of your reach on this right side. And then you can go ahead and drop your right arm down to the ground. lifting your left arm up towards the sky. Now, again, if that's not going to work, you can use a block here and bring your hand to the block. Make sure wherever you're at that you are spiraling your chest up towards the sky. You're looking up towards that left arm. Breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, lower that left arm down. Spiral your chest back towards the top of your mat. Pivot on that left back foot. Place your hands down, and now we're back into our low lunge. Breathe here for just a moment. Keep your knee lifted this time. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll step our right foot back to meet our left. And then we'll lower all the way down to the mat. You can untuck the toes. Woo! Take a moment here just to breathe. That was a lot. And then when you're ready, you can slowly lift the forehead up off the mat, coming into a baby cobra. Or if you'd like a little bit more, you can press through the hands and come into a bigger cobra. If you feel any crunchiness in your lower back, lower down a little bit. Also, in this posture, make sure you're not wearing your shoulders as earrings. So bring your shoulders back and down and breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll lower it back down. All right, I'm going to turn to the other side of my mat, so that way as we do that same sequence on the other side, my butt is not towards you guys. I'm just going to move on over. All right, and we're going to transition into downward facing dog. So you can either come with me and go through all fours like we did a moment ago, or I'm going to show you an alternative route that you can use to get into the posture. So if you want to go through all fours, go ahead and do that. We'll meet you in downward facing dog. Otherwise, come with me and we'll tuck our toes under, take a nice big inhale to prepare. And then as you exhale, we'll push ourselves up into a strong plank. Sneaking more planks in there. Take another inhale here. And then exhale, we'll lift our hips up, shifting our weight back, coming back into our downward facing dog. And breathe. One more big inhale here. And then as we exhale, make sure your right foot is firmly planted into the mat. We'll lift our left toes up, keep the toes dialed down towards the mat. And then exhale, bend the knee, shift forward, look forward, bring that knee into the chest. We'll step our left foot in between our hands, step our right foot up a bit, and then we'll roll up into our warrior two posture. Now again, make sure your foot alignment is correct. It's a little odd with the way my camera is set up, so it's kind of hard for you to see it. One thing you don't want to do that I did mention before is you want to make sure you're not on a tightrope. So you can see how from this front angle you can't see my feet. You only see, well, you can't see my feet at all, but you can't see this back leg at all. You want to make sure that you're on these parallel train tracks, so that way if someone's looking from you from the front, they can see both feet. So again, make sure your base is nice and stable. Your back toes are turned in. Hips towards the front of your mat. Nice 90-degree angle in this front leg. You should be able to see your big toe. Not move that knee to the outer edge towards your pinky toe, I guess. And then again, your hands can be at your hips. They can be resting at your heart center. I'm trying to get my angle here. There we go, that looks a little better. Or you can stretch your arms out to the side. Again, make sure you're in that nice stance. Breathe, you can look over your right fingers here. One more big inhale here. And then as you exhale, let's straighten through that front leg. Drop your right fingers, lift your left arm up towards the sky, reverse triangle, breathe. One more big inhale here. Exhale, return the arms back to center. Reach forward with your left hand. Make sure you're not locking out that front left knee. And then we'll drop the left arm to the mat, to a block, spiraling our chest up towards the sky, reaching our left arm, or our right arm up towards, left arm is on the floor, right arm is to the sky. Chest spiraling forward, really pulling back through that right hip crease once again. Breathing. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll spiral it back all the way down, pivoting on our right foot, coming back into that low lunge with our right knee up off the mat. Breathe. I'm going to come back around because I like this side better. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and step our left foot back to meet our right, coming back into our plank, or you can lower onto the knees in a half plank. We'll pause here and breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll lower all the way back down to the floor. Oh. Good news, that was our last plank. Well, maybe. If you choose for it to be, it can be. All right, on your next inhale, go ahead and rise up into your version of Cobra. Breathe. I'm feeling a little sweaty here. I don't know about you. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll lower all the way back down. All right, I'm going to meet you in downward facing dog. So either go through all fours or through plank. If you go through plank, then that is our last plank. Inhale, either to all fours or to plank. Inhale again, and then we'll exhale, coming into our downward facing dog. And breathe here. On your next inhale, go ahead and look forward at the top of your mat. We're going to make our way back up all the way to the top. So you can hop, you can step, you can jump, you can levitate, however you choose to get there. Once you make it to the top of your mat, on your next inhale, come up halfway, keep a nice flat back. And then exhale, forward fold, let it go. And breathe. On your next exhale, go ahead and slowly roll it all the way up to standing, feeling that flush of energy. Fix your clothes if you need to. And then we're going to come to stand long ways on our mat. So we're in a new year. If you're practicing this in real time, we're going to let go of any old stagnant energy. So we're going to do another one of my favorites. This particular movement is done across different modalities, and it's called different things. I know it more as knocking on heaven's door, but if you've practiced it in Qigong or Tai Chi, you might have heard it called something differently. But what we're going to do, our body is full of these meridian points that store energy. We are going to lightly tap on ourselves and move our body around to break up some of that stagnant energy, so that way when we walk up off the mat, we're not taking it with us. So I thought this would be an appropriate move to do for this very first posture, and you'll see it throughout the year. If you do any of my older videos, you'll see it there too. If you're not familiar with it, you're going to basically pretend like you have on a big sweater, but you didn't put your arms through the armholes. So your arms are just loose. And you're gonna sway from side to side, coming up on the ball of your foot and just going back and forth. And you may have to adjust your stance for your body, but then you're going to just lightly tap on your back and then also on your hip here as you come across. In different modalities, you can also bring one hand up towards your chest underneath the collarbone and one still to the back. So you may see it like this or like this. And you can choose. Try it out both ways. See what feels good to you. Make sure you are lifting up off the top, or lifting your heel up off of the mat. If I can talk today, that would be helpful. And then just smile, have fun with it. If I can do this here and put this out for the world to see, then you can do it at home if you're doing that at home. Keep breathing as you do this. Just moving side to side, tapping on your body, feeling that energy move. Keep going. Woo. Make sure you're away from any walls or doors. Otherwise, you might punch something. That's not going to feel good on your hands. Just a little bit longer. And then start to slow it down, bringing the hands away from the body, really slowing it down. And then we'll step our feet in, coming back into our mountain pose. You can close down the eyes if you'd like. Again, just feel that flush of energy move through your body and breathe. So hopefully you feel a little bit more energized and ready to tackle the rest of your day or whatever you have in store. If you are new, I always pull an oracle card for the practice. And today I pulled the Squirrel Spirit card, and its message is to believe in yourself. It says, you have accumulated wisdom and experience and are surrounded by all you need. An abundance of resources is available to you through the generosity of spirit and all your hard work. Squirrel Spirit shows up when you need reminding that the acorns you have gathered and stowed away have enormous potential to grow. So relax into knowing there is always enough and you have what it takes to co-create the reality you want to experience. Through diligent preparation, you have gained wisdom and strength. How much potential you have. Believe in yourself, for Spirit believes in you and wants you to know that you have enough and are enough. Doesn't that truth make you feel safe and secure? It should, for you have everything you need right now. I thought that was an awesome little message there to start us out for this year. Thank you so much for joining me for today's free January practice just to usher in this new year. If you like this video and you'd like more, I do have a Patreon channel that is linked in the comments, or not in the comments, but in the description box below. That is a monthly, or every week I upload a new video to that site. It is a paid site. It's currently, at the time of this recording, $15 a month, but then you have access to the entire library of videos. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. It's no contracts, it's just you can cancel anytime. Also, if you know anyone that would benefit from these videos, feel free to share this with them. Also, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. You can subscribe to the channel, then you'll know when any new videos come out right away. I think that's it. So thank you once again. Thank you for spending your time and your energy and sharing your practice with me. I hope you have an awesome rest of the week, and I will see you next week. Namaste.